Hi there, I'm Joshua Zirkle, Certified Professional Organizer, Productivity Strategist, and founder of Custom Living Solutions. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the questions that people just like you have emailed in to me, and I'll be answering them. So the first question comes from Elizabeth, and Elizabeth says, "Hey Josh, what is the cloud? I keep hearing all about it. And what are cloud apps?" Well, Elizabeth, this is a really popular question that I get a lot from people both online and when I do speaking events. So let me explain a little bit about what we're talking about. The cloud is essentially referring to the internet as a whole. So think of it as like things that live other than on your desktop, other than on your own computer. Cloud apps, or web apps, or simply just apps, you'll hear those terms used interchangeably, are pieces of software, tools, that you use by going to a web browser, logging into a specific website, and then accessing that tool online. So that sounds really complicated, but essentially if you've ever used Gmail or Yahoo Mail, you've already used a web app. To use those tools, you have to go to Yahoo or you have to go to Gmail. You log in with your username and password that you got when you signed up for the service, and then you access your mail online on the computer. When you go offline or when you don't have internet access, you can no longer use your mail. And this is the same concept for any web app or a cloud app that you might use. Typically, you must be connected to the internet, you have to have a username and password for security, and in order to do anything with the tool at all, you need to log in through your web browser to use that cloud app or web app. So there's many different cloud apps and web apps available. Many of them are very small and specialized, like there's, for instance, to-do and task managers like Remember the Milk, and there's kind of all-in-one do-everything suites like Google Apps and the suite of Google services that they offer. All of those fall under the category of cloud apps or web apps. And if you're interested in more cloud apps or web apps, I encourage you to sign up for my Productivity Toolbox, which is on customlivingsolutions.com. If you click on Productivity Toolbox, there's many different online and cloud apps that I personally use in my business and that I've recommended to my clients. So if you're curious about trying some out, that's a good place to start. Thanks, Elizabeth, for that question. I'm sure lots of other people share that with you. The next question comes from Allison. Allison says, "Hey Josh, do you have any recommendations for contact management systems? I'm specifically looking for something that includes integration with the calendar, reminds you to follow up, and collects all the notes and details from your appointments." So let me first define what a contact management system is. This goes beyond just the address book that you might be collecting in your email program or on your phone. Those are great if you just want to collect personal information like the names and address and maybe the phone number or email different addresses of people that you're maybe talking to or working with in a more personal setting. Typically for those people you don't need to collect tons and tons of data. In a business setting, however, you typically want to collect all sorts of information about a person. You want to collect all of those basics, where they live or where they work, their company name, email address, all of that sort of thing. Those are important, those are the basics. But in a business relationship you want to collect more. You want to make notes about the interactions that you have with them at each different touch point, at each meeting, or maybe when you send them an email you want to capture that inside of a database too. Maybe you want to do things like email all the people that are in your database that fall under a certain category, maybe a certain type of client or customer. You can't really do that, or at least not easily or not well, with Address Book on the Mac or the built-in address book on the PC or just a simple contact manager. You can't really do that very easily or very well. And it's not really slick, it's not designed for that. So when you want to do more advanced things with your contacts, especially keeping track of meetings and being reminded when it's time to call them, you'll need something called a CRM or Contact Relationship Manager. And these come in a couple of flavors. The first flavor are ones that live on your computer. So remember how we talked a little bit about web apps? This is the opposite of that. This is software that lives just on your computer that's connected probably to Outlook or something else that you use for other types of contact-related tools. So there's ones like ACT, which is great for contact relationship management. Outlook itself can actually be a very powerful contact manager because it integrates tasks and calendar items and emails all together. And you can set reminders inside of Outlook or ACT for when it's time to call someone, and you can take notes about the different meetings that you've had with them. There's add-ons for Outlook that you can also get that add more full-featured contact relationship management into it. So that's one flavor, the desktop-based contact relationship management tool. The other flavor are online applications that let you do contact relationship management. So these are cloud or web apps. You go log into a website that you've signed up with. Inside of there you can see all of your business contacts, or personal if you choose to keep them in there as well. And then within there you can dig really deep into each contact's information. You can take notes about every meeting or interaction you've had with them. You can connect each tool to your calendar, especially if it's an online calendar like Google Calendar, so that you can put reminders directly on it. You can have tasks that are coming up for that client or contact within their record. So everything that's happened with the client, you can keep in one spot. What's nice about this is that anytime you want to look up anything that's happened with that particular client or contact, you click on their name and everything related to them, their entire history with you, if you've been diligent about putting stuff in there, will come up. So it's a really comprehensive way to make sure that you're staying on top of all the things that are related to that person. So a few that are really good online are Salesforce. Salesforce is a big application. It's really designed for big companies that have large sales forces that need to collaborate with each other on making a big sale. That said, they do offer tiers of service, and a couple of the lower tiers, the Group Edition in particular, is really great for small businesses because it lets you do a lot of the things that a bigger business would use Salesforce for without a lot of the cost. So that's one. Another one that I really like also is Zoho CRM. Zoho is great because typically it's free, especially for individuals, small businesses. There are paid tiers, of course, but if you're looking to get started on the cheap, that's a good way to do it. A third one that you might want to look at is called Highrise, and this is from a company called 37 Signals, and they make other popular online tools that hook into it. One of the things that I didn't mention about any of these online tools yet is that typically, if you're using other online tools, there are ways to hook these CRMs into those tools. So for instance, if you use a tool to send out a mass email newsletter to your people, to your followers, typically those can hook into these CRMs, customer relationship managers, so that you can see whether people had opened your email. So when you are on the phone with the client, you open their record in your CRM, and you can see, oh, Susie Q opened my last newsletter, or no, she didn't. If she opened it, maybe you have a chat about what was in it and what she thought about it. So these are all tools to enhance your relationship with people. So Allison, thank you for that question. That's another one I get quite frequently. Feel free to email me your questions. I'm happy to answer them. My email is joshua@customlivingsolutions.com. And you can email me questions about productivity, tech tools, staying organized, or all of the above. I'm happy to share. Again, this is Joshua Zirkle. I'm the founder of Custom Living Solutions. And if you want to connect with us online, just go to customlivingsolutions.com. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.